Unspecified disorders. Hello, my amigos and amigas. Welcome back to the wonderful world of my YouTube channel. Let's begin. Number one, what I hate about unspecified disorders. A few months ago, I got diagnosed with three disorders, and apparently I have them for a long period of time. And after months and months of somewhat recognizing that I actually do have those symptoms and I'm not faking them, and it is a real disorder. They're not rare, they're just pretty much undiagnosed within certain communities, especially the Black community, especially in girls as well.
I had to be very quiet today because there's someone snoring behind the back and I do not want to disturb them right now. Let's cut to the chase. So, the number one thing I hate about my disorder is that the information online, it's not there. It's like you had to dig really, really deep. I have checked so many health websites out there. I have checked WebMD. I have checked Healthline. I have checked Mayo Clinic. I have to check NHS. I have to check HealthGov. The disorders that they have are like those specific ones. Some of the disorders that they have, they need to update. I've seen this specific disorder that I do not have called OSSD6, and I rarely find that anywhere, and that comes from a basis of trauma. In my own experience, when I find this stuff, I feel a little bit more insecure because, imposter syndrome sucks. Some of the information that I see out there, if you type in, like, for example, an unspecified disorder, it is categorized under one big cluster of disorders, which is pretty confusing because, yes, I may see a lot of similarities of that disorder, but that does not mean that I experience everything of it. It's like your grab bag full of surprises, just not the candies or the sweets or any of the toy tickets that you see in those stuff. Number two, so the online support is amazing. It's just that some of the online support sucks, especially when you start speaking out about your own truth. Sometimes they can be very dismissive. Most of the time, well, the ones that I go on, since I use Discord as my poison, they have been very helpful to me. Unfortunately, many people don't experience that. They get shamed for it. They don't have a voice of their own, and it really breaks my heart to hear all of this. Number three. So the biggest rule about having a disorder is that they manifest differently in people. So for example, you can have seizures. Some people experience more seizures than others, while other people experience it a few times a week or a few times a month. In my own experience, whenever I experience certain stuff, it comes in like short fuses. Sometimes it will come very mellow, but when I start realizing it, it's a little bit too late for me. For other people out there, when they're experiencing the same problems that I have, they experience it every day. And sometimes this may sound a little bit dumb. You kind of feel a bit jealous in a way because they're getting more attention than you, and you wish you had that amount of attention. If that sounds that sounds very problematic, but that's what I really feel about it. Also, about medication, some people have to take medication. Sometimes people on the same coin don't need to take medications, and that is pretty much a normal thing. It depends on the person. It doesn't mean how terrible you are. It still doesn't stop you from saying that, hey, I have the same illness. You can't judge someone like that. Number five, people find it difficult to believe that you have a certain disorder despite your age. When I explained to one of my coworkers, she didn't believe me in the first place, and she thought that I was gonna kill her or get angry at her. In reality, I am not gonna do that. Yes, I have the urge to, to get angry at many people, but it still doesn't stop me from trying to be a decent human being because I'm trying my best to be one. There are some people out there who think it's your fault. They start victim blaming some issues them. For example, when some people experience traumatic moments of their life, some people unfortunately will start to shame them or blame them into thinking that it's your fault. It's your fault because you dress so subtly. It's your fault because you're you're doing the wrong thing that your parent did to you. You're doing the wrong thing. It's your fault that you get assaulted. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. Like, it's not helpful in any way. As a matter of fact, for some people, it can trigger them, and you do not want to see that. As the phrase go, people think them patty made out of shit gold. Some people out there are suddenly doctors when you say you have this type of illness or alignment because they're saying that, oh, you don't look sick. Oh, you don't act as this person on that you see every day or on TV. Oh, you don't hurt yourself as much. Oh, this or that. And you're just like, well, that's what the doctor diagnosed me. And they start like giving you this holistic methods, like saying that, oh, the doctor is wrong. They shouldn't have given you that disorder because from my eyes, after looking through one Google search, looking through a few experiences that I have in my life, you don't have that. You could never have that disorder because it's very, very hard to diagnose. Like, some doctors out there who have 8 to 10 years of experiences working their asses off, and you just have that one experience, and suddenly you know the whole goddamn DSM-5 or the IC-10 or the IC-11 book. Like, you don't know shit. You don't. Stop pretending that you do, because there's so many factors that deals with, oh, they're not getting enough vitamin D or vitamin B12, which I can see why it is helpful, because those are very helpful. But there are other factors. There are environmental factors. There are neurological or neurodevelopment factors. They're like biological factors. There could be many things that happening in their life, and you choose to ignore that. You choose to tell them that, oh, you don't deserve this disorder because you don't fit the person that I have in my head. And that really hurts me. I'm not sure if I'm fifth or sixth, but the health industry sucks. I'm not sure if it pertains to my doctors because they seem to be very genuine hearted. It takes a while to get diagnosed. When I first went to my first doctor, that I sit down and set up for myself and pay for I get health insurance, but I paid anyways. I was scared, but it took a while to get diagnosed because I started in like November, and it took like November, December, January. It took like at least around 2 to 3 months to get diagnosed. It was so quick. I was just like, really? I know I'm not afraid of it. I'm just afraid of getting more diagnoses because I really don't want any more problems to reach up to me. We're at the last one. Sorry for making you take so long. Having imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome happens to everybody else. It gets worse when you have certain illnesses or alignments because you're wondering if you're faking it. Whenever you describe it to other people, they're saying that, oh, you don't have it. What you have is not real. And you hear all these thoughts and you start doubting yourself a lot. In my own opinion, sometimes I really get health anxiety about certain disorders because I was so engrossed into it. But nowadays, I realize that none of the disorders that I diagnosed myself is actually accurate until I got professionally diagnosed by a doctor and they said, yo, you have this. And now I realize that what I'm experiencing is serious. People just suck sometimes. And sometimes your brain is just a sucky piece of shit. It just it just wants you to feel pain because that's the only way it wants to protect you from being truthful to yourself, because that's what the brain does. The brain wants to protect you into, even if the protection seems to be very harmful. There are many good things about having an unspecified disorder, but the biggest one is at least you feel some sort of relief. Some people experience shock and anger and fear, but there may be some people out there who are convinced that they have certain disorders, and when they get that certain disorder they feel some sort of relief. I didn't felt any relief. I couldn't believe that I could ever have these disorders. For a long period of time I didn't show any, well, I probably did show signs, but your family members, they kind of want to be like, oh, it's just a normal thing, she will grow out of it, or oh, it's just a phase in life, but when you get older and the phase is not going away and things getting considerably worse, they start disowning, well, they won't disown you, but people start looking at you in a way, and that hurts. For once, after stop being in denial and stop being afraid and stop doing many other things, I start learning how to accept that this is a thing. I don't try my best, but I'm still trying to not make it become of me, because to be honest, I really don't want to have these. But at least I have a name for what I'm feeling. At least I don't have to feel like I'm a horrible person all the time. That's it for today. After so much rambling, I'm finally finished with my video and I feel satisfied by it. Thank you for watching this video. I enjoy. Adios.